Welcome everyone to a Good Vibes Gaming discussion. I'm your host, Derek Bittner, and I'm joined by my wonderful co-founders, Ash Paulson, John Cartwright, and Steve Bowling. And we finally have the announcement of a Nintendo Direct Mini, because that was the updated rumor. It came true. It's coming on the 28th at 6 a.m. Pacific, 9 a.m. Eastern, nice and early. Just get it all out of the way. You're going to be too tired to complain. That's the whole setup there. Nobody can complain about this. And it's a roughly 25-minute direct mini partner showcase. So it's mainly going to be third party. And in preparation for this, John, you took a look at the last time we had a direct mini partner showcase. How'd that one go?
Not great. So this one was back in July of 2020. And they did a few mini directs in that time because, it was a pretty sporadic time in our world. And this one was only around 8 minutes long, and the contents were questionable. So it starts off with Cadence of Hyrule, DLC for that game. I don't know if you can call that a partner game, given it's a Nintendo IP, but they did it anyway. Then we've got WWE, one of the worst games in the series. We've got a game that I can't remember the name of, Rogue Company? Is that it?
I think so.
And then it closes off with Shin Megami Tensei 3 getting a remaster and Shin Megami Tensei 5 getting a release date. So it ends pretty well, but not the best direct.
No, that's for sure. That said, with it being 25 minutes and how this year has been is just as far as releases, I don't think it's going to be that bad. I think we're going to have some really good stuff here, actually.
I sure hope so. It's just it kind of goes to underscore that Nintendo, when they want to, they just march to the beat of their own drum. They're like, E3 season, cool. Jeff Keighley, great. State of Play, awesome. Microsoft Showcase, great. Yeah, Direct Mini, we're doing what we want to do. Screw you guys. Just
I mean, does it even qualify as a mini though? 25 minutes is proper direct length. I wonder why it's still called a mini.
It is longer.
I think it's to temper expectations. I think that's why.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe. It just seems weird to me that you would call anything that long mini.
Right.
It's 3 times longer than the last mini direct.
We could get a 50-minute actual direct at some point. Maybe
September, the usual annual September direct, right around my birthday and your birthday, Derek.
Yeah, could happen. So I guess obviously we're here for predictions, but in general, do you guys think this is going to be a good direct, or are we looking at a wash?
It depends what you want. If you're going into this thinking, Breath of the Wild 2, baby, no. But no. I think we can expect better than last time. I think we can expect better than WWE. The runtime being triple the length, that's pretty promising. And I think third parties have been doing some really interesting stuff, especially Square. They've got a lot of Dragon Quest coming up. There's potential for Final Fantasy stuff. I won't get into it too much right now, but there's a lot of potential for good third-party announcements coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed. Yeah, I'm right where John is. I think as long as you know where your expectations should lie, pretty much no first-party stuff. If it is, it's going to be them working with an indie studio like Cadence of Hyrule. But as long as you're not expecting, as John said, Breath of the Wild 2, Super Mario Odyssey 2, and, know where your expectations should lie, I think I'm expecting better than the last Direct Mini. But I don't think our socks are gonna be blown off or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, you guys are so cute with your optimism. I'm not gonna lie. I think it's called a mini because we're gonna get an extended look at one specific game. No idea what that game is, but I think that the mini implies that there will still be not very many games at this showcase. And I don't know what that means. Maybe it means that they'll do a lot more developer interviews, or there will be something that reduces the number of games one might come to expect from a normal 25-minute direct. So I think probably one game gets a spotlight shine on it for a significant portion of the direct, like a 10-minute showcase or something on one game.
I don't know if I could.
That being said, Nintendo has this uncanny ability to present things and then just peel back a single layer of disappointment to add on top of it. And I feel like we're going to see a lot of that. I wouldn't be shocked if we got some really hype announcements and then we find out they're cloud versions of games that we want or something like that.
Kingdom Hearts just ruined that for everyone because there aren't that many cloud games, but now whenever there's a big Switch game announced, everyone's like, oh, what if it's cloud? But Kingdom Hearts is the only precedent where that isn't Like
Yeah.
that ruined it all.
Yeah, and I think that's mainly Square, and I think other developers probably look at the reception and probably even the sales of that and be like, yeah, maybe not.
Yeah.
I think that's the case. I honestly, Steve, I think you're a little too dour on this. I don't think we're gonna have like
Yeah,
that
I'm not
much of a
quite that
focus.
negative on it.
And I'll be honest, I do think we'll see at least one, maybe two things that are first party. The big thing I'm predicting, and I'll just go ahead and start it off with, the one big thing I'm predicting that'll be first party that it makes sense to show because it has been a while, the next Mario Kart DLC. Why wouldn't you show that? That has to be coming soon with the way their release lineup is. It has to be coming.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got to be soon, you'd think.
They do break their formulas sometimes. Like they'll say this is a partner showcase, but the last one had Cadence of Hyrule in, and like, even though it's made by a third party, it's still Zelda. And they had like No More Heroes during an indie showcase, which was a bit weird. Like Tetris Effect was in an indie showcase as well. Like that's always a bit strange. I think if they are going to show first party games, I expect that they'll probably be done by third party developers. It's like
That's
Mario
how I
plus
feel.
Rabbids, I reckon, will show.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I'm less certain about Mario Kart. I think you can just like Twitter drop Mario
that's what I'm
Kart
thinking,
DLC.
John. Like Derek, I completely agree with the timeline. I see where you're coming from, and it is about time for Wave 2. But I see that as more of a Twitter drop since this is specifically a partner showcase. I just have a feeling we're not going to see it during this for that reason. But I'd love to be wrong.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see it going either way, honestly, because Nintendo does bend or even sometimes outright break the rules of these things. And I agree with Derek that Nintendo's going to show something off that is just strictly theirs. Because why wouldn't
And
they?
smaller.
Yeah.
Yeah, a smaller thing that is theirs. I don't know if that means I would lean more to the side of Nintendo showing off an indie that they're going to publish, similar to Snipper Clips or Stretchers or something like that, or Good
Agreed.
Job. I think we could see
Yeah.
something like that, and that would technically be first party content. I agree with
Right.
John though that I think we're going to see Mario and Rabbids 2. And I would bet of all the games, I posited earlier that we're going to see a spotlight on a game. I would bet that Mario and Rabbids 2 gets a significant amount of time in the direct because of the fact that it supposedly is, it's got to be pretty far along. And we're also, it's been how long since we saw that game? It's been like
That was
6, 7 months?
last
Year and a
June or
half?
something.
Yeah. Let's
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Even
It's
longer.
been a while. So I'll co-sign onto that. I agree that we'll probably see Mario and Rabbids and that it might get a bit of an extended look. It seems like it's way past time to see that game again because it's been too long, right? So you could say that we have a spark of hope that we'll see sparks of hope, right? That is what it's called, right? Sparks
Yeah,
of
Sparks
hope.
of Hope.
Yeah. That's like, please tell me I didn't screw that up.
It
Please
would
tell
have
me I
been
didn't screw
amazing
that
if you were
up. Yeah.
completely wrong.
I know, right? I actually want to keep the ball rolling with something our good friend Shellshock Prime mentioned in our live audience chat that I had down on my end to mention. TMNT Cowabunga Collection. This is
yeah.
the time
Oh, yeah.
to hype it up with the Shredder's Revenge hype going in full force right now. This would be a perfect time for Nintendo to show. I guess Konami counts as one of their partners. For what everything Konami is nowadays. But Cowabunga Collection. This is the time to tease it on Switch. Let everyone know it's coming for sure. And maybe you'll even get a release date. That would be really cool if we got a release date. But I do think we'll see like a little short trailer just confirming for Nintendo fans that the collection's coming.
I had
Yeah,
that on my
that'd be-
list. I could see that.
Yeah.
I've got one on my list that's related to release dates. And we say this like this has become almost a meme with predicting direct stuff. But what if we see a release date trailer for Silk Song?
I
At the
knew where you were going.
Oh
with
man,
that.
you
Because
said the word,
one,
you did the
so
thing.
hear me out though. One, it is big enough of an indie to where we've all posited that it wouldn't show up at indie directs anymore.
Right.
That we would get it at a larger direct with a bigger platform. And two, Microsoft showed off Silk Song at Xbox, and they mentioned that it's coming out in the next 12 months.
Right.
So we know that it's coming up, and I would say anything that we know is coming out within a year is kind of fair game for a direct or a release date announcement. I think if you're within a year of launch, you can foreseeably get a release date trailer at almost any time.
Or at least a release window. Like maybe not a specific
Yeah.
date, but like, hey, specifically coming out spring 2023. There's something to shoot for.
Yeah. And I would bet, I don't have the numbers handy to back it up, but I would bet that Hollow Knight did far better on Switch than on competing platforms.
Oh yeah.
I guess too.
No doubt.
Sure.
It also launched earlier than other platforms. It came to PC first in 2017. Then Switch got it like exclusively for consoles for a while. It wasn't until like a year later that PS4 got it. So it's kind of like the home, like the console home of Hollow Knight.
I want to mention something our good friend Daniel says in our live audience chat. He unfortunately couldn't make it today for these predictions, but I do want to highlight this. He says, announce and Shadow Drop Tunic for the Switch.
Yeah.
Which would be
cool.
awesome, because we do know that Tunic just came to PlayStation. So
That'd be
obviously
awesome.
its timed exclusivity period with Xbox is up. Maybe it's coming to Switch as well. And it feels like the perfect, it's such a mean to say that, but it does feel like the perfect platform for Tunic, given
It
the kind of
does.
game it is. But
Right.
I could see that happening.
Yeah, absolutely. I've got a prediction.
Okay.
So, Portal, the companion collection, was announced in the previous direct, and they just said 2022. It might have even been summer 2022, but there's no specific date. So I reckon we'll get a date for that. But what's kind of interesting about that one is it's being ported by Nvidia, who also made the Nvidia Shield versions of Portal and Half-Life 2. So I reckon, just logically, it makes sense that Half-Life would get a port as well. So I think not only are they going to give a release date for the Portal collection, but also bring Half-Life 2 along.
That'd be cool.
Yeah,
I'd be down for
that'd
that.
be awesome.
I mean, we got all of
There's not
Doom.
been-
Might as well get Half-Life on there.
Yeah, I mean, there's not been console ports since the Orange Box. And I made like a really dumb tweet on Model D Knows at one point about Portal. So, and I think it'd be a cool feature if it happens. So, like, in some Switch games, like in Pokemon Sword and Shield, when you have your Joy-Con in on your Switch, that's like represented in your room. So it can tell if you've got neon Joy-Con or grey Joy-Con. So my idea for Portal is if you've got mismatching Joy-Con, like let's say you've got neon, or you've got like one red and one orange, the portals will understand that. So your left portal will be orange, your right portal will be red. Just mix and match your Joy-Con colors, make your own portals.
I love that idea. Yeah.
That'd be amazing.
That would be pretty cool. I guess if we're talking about games that were shown at other shows, but not not specifically talked about for Nintendo or not given a release date, I think it makes a lot of sense. And maybe I'm setting myself up for failure. Persona has to be coming to Switch at this point.
Don't do this to yourself, dude. Don't do it.
It's coming to other systems. It's coming to both PlayStation and Xbox. Nintendo has to be part of that. They have to know the demand for Persona on the Switch. Plus, Nintendo also likes to be, go to the beat of their own drum. They wouldn't want to just have it be this whole thing. This, like an also ran. Let's highlight it. Really show it. We'll see. I mean, I could be completely wrong, but this feels like the best time. So that also means that probably no, it won't happen.
I mean, if it's not there, I'll stop asking for Persona on Switch. Because this feels like the opportune moment. If they didn't announce it with the other platforms, it's because they're holding off for this. And if they're not announcing it here, I don't think they're doing it.
No.
Benita says, you never see it coming to, you never see it. It's not coming.
I think I agree with Derek. This is probably the best opportunity for this to happen. And the reason why I believe that is that when we saw that they were all coming to Xbox, I immediately checked the press release to see if they mentioned other platforms, and they didn't. And I thought that was the nail in the coffin for any of those games coming anywhere else. And then what was it, like 3 or 4 days later, we got a separate press release saying they were all coming to PlayStation, which tells me that they're timing these reveals to when the platform holder wants people to know. So I could see, I mean, the thing about it is Persona coming to PlayStation, not a really big deal. They've all been on PlayStation. But getting specifically, at least for me, 5 on the Switch would just be ridiculous. Like, that's the one game I kind of fell off of because I had picked it up on PS3 and I meant to play it there. And then I picked it up on PS4 because I ran out of time. And then rumors started swirling about it coming to the Switch. So I just dropped the PS4 version and waited for the Switch version. And I would love for that to finally happen. Not to say anything of the classic games that are all coming too. But I think there's a really good chance because Sega, as far as I know, they're not doing anything like high profile on the Switch currently. Like, there's nothing coming up for the Switch.
Are you calling Sonic Frontiers not high profile?
I don't think is Sonic Frontiers coming to the
Biggest
Switch?
game of the year.
It is. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh wow, Holy crap! Sonic Frontiers on the Switch is
it's coming.
That's going to be interesting.
Oh boy, that will be
I
something.
can see what you mean about Persona and handhelds, though, because I think for a lot of people, Persona is a handheld franchise. Like, if you were a PSP owner, you'd get 1, 2, and 3 portable, and then Vita got 4 golden. Continuing that legacy, it should have happened ages ago. If it weren't going to happen on Vita, it should have happened on the Switch, and then for some reason it didn't. I really want all of them just in a nice portable place.
I wonder if we might see just like a quick hype trailer for Sonic Origins since it just came out, just to remind people that hey, it's on
I don't
Switch,
know if we'll get
play the classic Sonic games.
I don't think we'll get that, but I do think we'll get one of those quick hype trailers for stuff like Klonoa, Live Alive, that sort of
So
stuff.
I was actually going to say one thing on Klonoa, because we know it's coming out next month, and the demo was just dropped on the Japanese eShop on 4 days ago. I think we'll have a quick little tidbit saying, "Hey, Klonoa demo on the on eShops all around the world now. Go check it out, and please go check it out. If that does happen, you are duty bound, honor bound by me to go download the Klonoa demo.
That is the truth.
But I do think that's going to happen. Yeah."
Yeah, I think we'll also get a quick trailer for the Cuphead DLC as well.
Oh, yeah.
I think it comes out just a few days after, so.
And Steve, as Classy Mudkip reminds us, Bayonetta technically does count as Sega. So, Bayonetta 3 is a thing. We know it's coming sooner rather than later at this point. Maybe we'll see a little bit of that.
3, I think, could be another strong contender for a game that they spend a lot of time on in the direct. I agree that by Nintendo's weird version of their rules, that it classifies as a partner game.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's a Sega IP. I think it could happen.
Yeah.
It looked really interesting last time, but we didn't see enough of it. It was just kind of this big street fight with those summons, and then that's kind of it. So yeah, I want to see a lot more of this game.
Yeah.
Agreed. I'm going to make... Oh, go ahead.
Oh, there was, I guess this is kind of a leak, but Shell Shock Prime noted earlier, Tactics Ogre. That appeared on the PlayStation Store. I'm not sure if you guys saw, but a full-on remake appeared on there. So this seems like the time to do it.
Well, and speaking of remakes, I wanted to make a pair of predictions, a Square Enix related predictions, one safe, one out there. But Derek, you go ahead, man. I cut you off.
Oh no, you go. You can expand it further than I could.
Fair enough. Okay, so I'm going to make a pair of predictions. One of them is safe, and one of them is pretty wild out there, but I'm just going to... This isn't as fun if you don't have some hopes to get shattered, right? So my safe one, we were talking about remakes. My safe one is that I think we're going to see either Live Alive or Front Mission, maybe a final release trailer for Live Alive, and perhaps a release date announcement for Forever Entertainment's Front Mission. So one of those two, maybe both of those things, that's my safe prediction. My unsafe, break my heart Square, I'm ready for it prediction is Pixel remasters on Switch. I feel like maybe.
It's sad that that's unsafe.
I know. It should be. It's on my list. This feels like the perfect opportunity for it. Again.
It does, right? Please, Square, do the right thing. Do the right thing. Heal the wound you opened a year ago. Close the loop, man. Come on.
Yeah. I'm almost lost for words with how simple that should be, but they just won't do it. Same with Chrono Trigger. They've had that brilliant. I know the Steam version launched in a rough state, but it's brilliant now, and they're just keeping it on Steam. I don't know. I don't get it.
I don't get it either. That said, on the Square also has a lot on the Dragon Quest side. Obviously, we want to hear more about Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D. I don't think that's going to happen. I'll be honest. I also don't think we're going to see anything about Dragon Quest 10 offline. I just don't.
I don't think so.
I do think we're going to see something about Dragon Quest Treasures, because they said news was coming in June, and that hasn't happened yet. So we're definitely getting something Dragon Quest Treasures related.
What about DQ3? It's been a while since we've seen anything about it.
Not yet.
No. God, I want to see that. I want to see.
I feel like that's
that
next
game.
year.
We are definitely seeing treasures. As Derek said, they're showing them in June. This one seems the furthest along of all the games, and it looks really cool too. Getting to fire around as Eric and his sister. That's such a cool premise. I think we'll definitely see treasures, but I want to see the 10 localization. Offline feels like the perfect time to bring 10 to the West. They're avoiding it from any online connection. Just do it, but they probably won't.
Yeah.
I mean, more Dragon Quest on Switch is just a good thing.
Oh, absolutely. Speaking of more of something on Switch, or more of something I want to see on Switch, Classy Mudkip reminds us, saying, I'm not betting on it, but a second Ace Attorney trilogy is possible. Well, we already know that one was at least the Ace Attorney 4, 5, and 6 trilogy was in development, at least at some point, or is still in development based on that Capcom Giga Leak. And this would be a good time, I think, to show that off. You know, Great Ace Attorney Investigate or Great Ace Attorney Chronicles has been out now for about a year. This seems like the right time to keep the Ace Attorney hype train going on Switch and announce 4, 5, and 6 for Switch. I completely forgot about that, but it feels like good timing for it. And God, I would be so happy to see that.
That'd be
Please
incredible.
let that be. But then again, we also know that Capcom's working on Rockman Tyson, and we haven't seen anything about that. So who knows what Capcom's doing?
What about you, Steve? It's been a
Yeah,
while
that's
since
a
we got
good
a prediction
question.
from you.
With Capcom, I actually think we're going to see, and this is why I mentioned that veneer of disappointment. I think we're going to see a cloud version of Exoprimal for the Switch.
I don't think
I
so.
think that's a game that they're not entirely sure on where the audience will exist for it. And I'm willing to bet that Capcom will just try putting it on literally everything. But from what we've seen of Exoprimal, I can't imagine that game running on the Switch. There's just too many dinos
no
falling
way.
out of the sky.
I don't see that happening, even as a cloud version. I don't think that's a priority for them. I'm here to break Ash's heart if it doesn't happen, but this Mega Man.
Don't predict something Mega Man. You know it's not going to happen. Why are
Collect.
you doing
You don't
this?
think it's time for a collection? It's time
I
for a
think it's
collection.
time.
Legacy collection.
Dude,
There's definitely.
if I ran Capcom, it would have happened.
There
Because
is-
I think it's time. I just think Capcom cares.
There's
I
definitely
don't
there's
know.
a legacy collection of something coming.
I hope so, man. Either Battle Network or Legends. I would be so happy. I'm not predicting anything Mega Man in this direct, but I want to be wrong. Capcom, make me be wrong on this. Make Derek be right, please.
Give us the 3 prototype demo. It was done.
Oh,
Someone
man.
in the press has played it. Just put it in the collection.
That would be a
Yeah.
cool extra
Brutal.
is for the Legends collection.
Yeah.
If they do Battle Network Legacy Collection with whether now or down the line, I just hope they add an online play, because something we talked about on a GVG cast recently was how fans have been able to add online play into Battle Network 6 and now I think 5 games that didn't originally have it. And I would just love to see Capcom enshrine online play into a series that was ahead of its time and so clearly would benefit from it. But who knows if that'll happen.
So I want to bring up something. I've been staring off camera for a little bit now because I wanted to consult the Oracle on this, which is the Nvidia leak, because we've seen so many games from that come out.
Oh yeah.
And it's hard to find the whole list, but so many of them have been checked off, and I don't think we're going to see some of the things. But for instance, Ash had just mentioned Tactics Ogre, which was just announced, which was part of the Nvidia leak, or wasn't announced, but was leaked on PSN. Right? That was Tactics Ogre?
That's right.
Yes.
It was Tactics Ogre. I
So
think it was
Square, as part of that, actually had a Final Fantasy Tactics remaster leak in the Nvidia leak.
Please.
I
That
can't
is
see
a
them
game that
doing
could
both.
absolutely work on Switch.
It has to be either one or the other. I can't see them doing both Tactics Remake and Tactics Ogre Remake. So
I mean, it
least
is
not
in
at
the
the same
Nvidia
time.
leak though, and so much of it's been right.
I think they could both be real, just not at the same time.
exactly. That's what my
Oh,
thought.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the thing I wanted to point out from the Nvidia leak that I think could happen is Konami had listed both Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3 for HD remakes in
I don't think I
the
realized
Nvidia
that.
leak. I could see one of those being announced for the Switch. I mean, that's an easy enough game to port at much, with much better graphics on the Switch. And it's an old game. It's been a while since MGS2 has resurfaced. I would like to play that again. I could imagine that being on Switch pretty easily.
Yeah, they came to Nvidia Shield, but apart from that, 360 and PS3 was the last time. And what's kind of interesting about those two is they were delisted on 360 and PS3 because they needed to renew the license for all their old archive footage. So in Metal Gear, some cutscenes just have war archive things going
Right.
on. And they've not put them back. So I don't know if they're just in no rush to get that renewed, but maybe they are just planning re-releases and they just won't renew them.
That
Yeah,
could be.
perhaps. I mean, that seems to be a popular tactic these days.
Yeah, sure does.
Yeah.
I do think we have a chance of getting a lot of release dates coming up. There's a lot of games coming out that we just don't know when they're exactly coming out. River City Girls 2 is a big one. Not Digimon. I was going to mention that for later. Sorry, I have a lot of stuff on my list. I'm just trying to look through it. There was another one along with River City Girls 2. Metal Slug Tactics
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I haven't
that.
seen
Oh,
anything
sure.
from Metal Slug
It's
Tactics.
a good time for tactics, the genre lately.
Seriously.
Yeah.
And
Also-
one for Steve. We don't have a release date yet for Dragon Ball The Breakers, and that is coming to Switch.
Oh, that's true.
That's
I would
true.
love to see that game. Have they even done like a beta test on mobile or anything for that yet? I think they did.
I think. I
I
don't
could
know.
be
I missed it.
wrong.
I think I missed it.
But yeah, I would love to see more about Dragon Ball The Breakers. If you're not familiar with the game, that's the one where you're in the Dragon Ball universe, but you're a regular person just trying to stay alive,
Yeah.
which sounds like a really cool premise. I really want to see how Bandai Namco put that together.
Speaking of indie games that we seem to be about due for a release date for, and this is one I'm particularly hyped for. We're not going to get Chrono Trigger probably, but Sea of Stars is on the table, and I think they said they're aiming to release it around September-ish. Which, if that's
Oh, wow.
true and they're on track for release, then this seems to be a good time to announce the release date a few months out. And please, I just need to know when this game is coming. I'm so excited about it. If I can't get Chrono Trigger, give me a game directly inspired by it. So hopefully we'll see that and get a release date.
Oh yeah, that'd be
Oh.
awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I
I've-
could see us getting. Sorry, John. Go ahead.
And, I've got a prediction that probably no one else has in the world. So I think it's really cool when 3DS games come to the Switch. Like Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. We've also got things like the Taiko Adventures, like 1 and 2. Those are awesome to bring to the Switch. And there was a Puyo Puyo game exclusive to Japan on 3DS. Puyo Puyo Chronicle. This was an RPG, and basically you will roam around the world, and the battles are Puyo Puyo battles. And it's just a really cool game. There's a great fan translation out there, but nothing official. And I would hate for it just to officially die on the 3DS. So bring that baby to the Switch.
That'd be neat.
Oh, that would be
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. That'd be pretty cool.
I've got a pair of predictions that are going to be exciting or middling depending on who you are. So I think we'll probably see a bit more of No Man's Sky on the Switch because that's dated for
yeah.
summer.
Yeah.
And so I think people we'll probably get a release date trailer for that, I would imagine. We're officially 4 days into summer. So I could see them dropping a release date trailer for No Man's Sky. The other one that I think we could see more of is Marvel's Midnight Suns, which does
right. Oh, yeah.
nothing for me. But it is a game that Nintendo has previously given some good screen time to, and I could see that getting a formal announcement as well, but I would not be excited to see it.
Right.
I honestly do not expect to see it at all, but John just put it in my head because of getting 3DS games onto the Switch. And I happen to be playing it right now. I think, especially with the tactics push that has happened recently, I think it'd be pretty cool if the Devil Survivor games from Shin Megami Tensei could make it over. At least I've not played Devil Survivor 1 yet, but Devil Survivor 2 has probably one of the best dubs I've heard in a long time, and it's on 3DS, and it's really naturally done and a lot of fun. And these are really accessible games, like compared to a lot of SMT. They are not super difficult and pretty accessible. And to see them on the Switch, maybe with a little touch up here and there, I think they could be pretty cool. Or hey, just make a Devil Survivor 3, surprise people, especially since Switch isn't getting Soul Hackers 2.
That'd be really cool. There's an interesting question in the live audience from Dat Alpha Lion who says, "Would Advance Wars count since it's done by Way Forward?" And
That is excellent timing.
It's kind of like a partner
I think it would.
showcase.
Yeah.
But Nintendo don't tend to acknowledge that Way Forward is doing this. Like Way Forward themselves did. I think they may have tweeted about it once, but in all their presentations, they're like, "Yeah, it's Advance Wars done by Nintendo." Like they don't really say that Way Forwards, the ones behind the helm. So I think that's more direct worthy, to be honest, like full on direct.
That's a good question. The thing that makes me wonder, and I was literally just about to surface the idea of Advance Wars coming up, is the fact that we know that the game's done and has just had its release date indefinitely postponed, which could, I think that could lead to Nintendo just trying to plug it in wherever, honestly. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't even be surprised if they just announced the release date of this game via like a Twitter drop or something, just because we know the game's finished. We know it's past lot check. It's strictly because of geopolitical circumstances that they, kind of just shelved the game for a while. And the hype for that game is real. So I could see Nintendo saying like, oh, well, I mean, WayForward's a partner and we really need to release this game already.
Yeah.
So I can
If
see
you
that
remember,
happening.
there was a woman who had it. She preloaded it and she
Oh,
got
that's
it.
right.
Nintendo revoked it, so they took it back from her.
Right.
But
Yeah,
she was
they do
playing. Like, she had lots of footage on her Twitter. She full on had the game, like, back in April.
I mean,
Yeah.
Nintendo doesn't have anything for August from themselves, so you could just slot it right in there for an August release, but who knows?
Yeah. This is just kind of out of nowhere, like out of left field. I'm not actually expecting to see this, but I want to muster up the summoning energy I can. Microsoft are technically, they have been a partner to Nintendo in the past. Where's GoldenEye? That thing exists. I know GoldenEye exists.
Well, actually,
I know it does.
it brings up something in a greater sense. NSO, we've gotten through the initial lineup of N64 games. What's
Right.
next?
Yeah. When it comes to GoldenEye, it'd be weird for it to showcase here and not Xbox's show from a few
I
weeks
know.
ago.
Yeah.
But, oh man, I do want GoldenEye.
I mean, it could just
want
be a
GoldenEye
straight
so
port
bad.
to the NSO. Like, here's the NSO
could be.
version, and
I'd be okay with that too. I mean, it'd still be cool to be able to play that online, even as a throwback.
Yeah.
But I believe I know it exists. It has to. The only thing I want to see the next wave of N64 NSO games as much as anybody, but I think probably not here, only because it's a partner showcase, right? And some of the Wave 2 games would invariably probably be first party games like Wave Race and 1080 Snowboarding. So I
Sometimes
don't know
rare
if they
games,
would.
like just Diddy Kong Racing.
Yeah, only rare.
Jet Force
yeah,
Gemini.
that would be
Yeah.
really funny.
I
would
would
be-
also never count out Nintendo's ability to only reveal one game and one game only. and
true.
tell you
That
that's
is
what
true.
you're getting.
Yeah.
I mean, GoldenEye, to be fair, is one of the biggest games you could possibly put on NSO. It would be the one that nobody outside of, enthusiasts like us would see coming. And it would honestly probably gain them a lot of subscribers, because there are tons of people out there that, are in their mid to late 30s who have fond memories of playing GoldenEye in college or what have you,
Yeah. And it's
So I
online
think
now,
that
so
could
there
do
you
really
go.
well. Yeah.
It does kind of beg the question though, like when achievements have surfaced for GoldenEye, they clearly are releasing the remastered version that they made back on 360.
Right.
So, how would you feel if like Switch just got an NSO, like just a ROM of the N64 version? Would you touch that, or would you just sort of play the Xbox version?
I mean, I think it's probably a decent compromise for people who don't have an Xbox.
Yeah.
So, like, you might not
Yeah,
have
I mean-
the nicer version, but you get the original. So
That's true.
it's not
I
perfect,
think
but I think it
the
works.
limiting factor for me there is that Xbox's voice chat is just so much better.
Right.
That I would want to play it online with people that I could talk to, and
It has to be on Discord.
Nintendo would make that impossible.
Yeah. No, I think it's a good, if you have the option, if you're lucky to have the option like we do, would rather play like the full remaster on Xbox, right? But if you don't have an Xbox, I think bringing GoldenEye to NSO just in its original form is still pretty cool.
valuable.
With online play.
Yeah.
It's still valuable in its own way. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I accidentally mentioned it before, so I might as well put it back out there. But I think we'll see a little bit of Digimon Survive, get that out in people's thoughts. Although it's funny because, as our live chat mentioned, it comes out the same day as Xenoblade Chronicles 3.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh, it's such a cram time. I haven't
Yep.
really touched Digimon in a while, but Survive looks real good.
I've heard
Yeah.
good things. Yeah.
I'd like to see more of it because I've just heard the name floating around, but I've never actively looked into it because, like John, I haven't really touched Digimon in a very long time. And to see what it's all about, I think it might be able to get people to check it out.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I'm running a bit dry on my predictions now. We've kind of gone through. I think we've probably predicted more than this mini is
Oh,
going
absolutely.
to deliver.
Oh,
but-
definitely.
Oh, absolutely.
It's the shotgun approach. Just get as much
Yeah.
out there, and maybe we'll get something right.
Yeah, hopefully. Thinking on it more, I mentioned Sea of Stars earlier. That probably seems likelier for like a random summer indie world
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah.
Probably not for a partner showcase, but we'll see. I'm pretty much out of predictions on my end as well. I'm ready to be heartbroken, but I'm at 6 a.m. But I'll be there.
You want to talk about heartbroken? Here's one for you. I gave you Mega Man collection, Ash.
Oh no!
Where's
why?
my Castlevania DS collection?
So
please.
that's so funny, Derek. I had that on my list originally, but then I looked at the release date of Advanced Collection, and it was still less than a year ago, and that's why I took it off my list. I figure it's coming, but not yet.
I mean, it's already going on. The Advanced collection is already going on sale, so
That's true. That's true. But yeah, I did have it on my list
each
originally.
other out. It's not like
Yeah.
you buy the
Nope.
DS collection, like, oh, no need for the GBA one now. Like,
Exactly.
They can coexist.
Well, maybe that's a sign, Derek. Maybe you mentioning it even after I took it on my list means I should plop it back on my list. So
I want
sure,
it.
Castlevania DS collection. Let's go. Come on.
It'd be one of the best collections out there because those games are all freaking amazing.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, if we got both that and a release date for the Cowabunga collection, that is more than I could ever hope for from Konami. So sure, I'll take one or both.
Any other thoughts? Any other predictions? Heartbreaks? Hopes? Dreams?
I'll be interested to see where we land on all this tomorrow. That's all I'm
Me
gonna
too.
say.
I
I just want to caution our audience. Just keep your expectations.
Oh,
low.
absolutely.
I predict there will be games and there will be anger. Those two.
Here's
I'm pretty
a
safe on.
question. For Mario plus Rabbids 2, will Rayman reveal himself?
Oh man,
No.
Ooh, that would be really cool.
It'd be cool, but
I don't think
no.
so.
What's the
don't think
hook, though? Like this, Mario plus Rabbids is a great game, but we're 5 years on. Are they just doing it again? Or is there a hook? And is that hook
Rosalina.
Rayman?
Rosalina's the
There is
hook.
Rabid
I
Rosalina
guess
and
Rosalina's
probably
the hook.
Rosalina.
Yeah.
Like maybe do Rabid Pauline.
Oh, that would be weird.
Rabid Rayman.
Rabid
I don't
Rayman.
think
not
I don't
letting
think
go
the
of it.
world's ready for Rabid Rayman. I know I'm not ready for Rabid Rayman. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, I don't know what the hook would be other than just bigger in space, but I guess we'll maybe see.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
hard. I'm really excited for it because I still think the original is one of the best looking games on the Switch,
Oh, yeah.
and I'll be curious to see if Ubisoft has improved the graphics tech at all in this game because the first one still holds up as one of the best looking games.
Yeah,
Clearly, we've hyped too much because the hype police are here to arrest all of us.
as they
Oh,
as they
no.
usually do.
They usually are. We've gone too far.
I have one last thing here I'll just put out there. I don't think it's going to get any kind of major highlight, but it's probably going to be one of those sizzle reels. Grim Grimoire Once More was revealed not too long ago. It's done by Vanillaware. They're even done before Odin Sphere, and now everybody loves 13 Sentinels. So I might get those 13 Sentinels to check out that game and what that's all about. And it's another tactics game, so there you go. 2D
Speaking
tactics
of-
game, but there it is.
Speaking of Vanillaware, Muramasa, they did a great Vita
Oh,
remaster.
yeah.
But you're remastering a Wii game that's in 480p to a Vita game that's in 540p. I just want HD Muramasa.
It would be pretty.
Oh, that'd be cool.
I mean, at that
I'd be
point,
so happy with that.
do we have Odin Sphere on Switch? I don't think we do, and that's a
No.
great game.
No.
And then there's what is it called? Dragon's Crown. Might as well just get all their
just bring them
stuff.
all.
Yeah.
You know what? One thing I want to put out there. Last thing, you guys talking about Odin Sphere and all these games that we're not getting.
Oh, totally not getting. Totally not. Getting.
reminded me of something. I don't remember the position of the person, but someone at Treasure recently tweeted,
Yes.
"Yes, I am developing that game." So I
That's
wonder
from the
if we'll
Treasure
see-
account. The official Treasure account said that.
Yeah. So I wonder if we'll see something from Treasure during the partner showcase.
What would it
Yeah.
be? Because there's
I mean,
so
that
many
game
options.
to me,
I'm
my
gonna hope
expectations
that
are realistic. It's probably Radiant Silvergun. But
it probably is.
Developing makes you think something new, but I think realistically it probably is Radiant Silvergun, which would be awesome to re-release, but I want a new game from them.
What have they been
I want
doing?
Guardian Heroes too.
I was like, I know what you want,
Yeah.
Steve. I knew
Yeah.
you were going for Guardian Heroes. Yep, which would be so exciting.
What about a new Gunstar Heroes?
Or
I would
Sin
take
Punishment 3.
anything from Treasure, honestly.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, this is kind of I don't know. This just kind of popped in my head. But what if, like, for all the characters that seem to weirdly randomly pop up in Fortnite, Nintendo still hasn't gotten in on that whole thing, right? And we know that there were at least plans at one point for Samus to appear in the game at one point, but they couldn't come to a deal. It fell apart. But what if maybe that happens? We'll finally get a Nintendo character in Fortnite, and something off the wall like that is announced.
You know what? If that happens, Ash, it's gonna be Chris Pratt as Mario.
There you go. Chris Pratt's Mario. Perfect.
Yeah.
God,
Perfect.
run through Fortnite's art filter. That would be weird, man.
I don't know why you triggered this in my head, Ash, and I hate you for it
Ah.
because I'm like, oh no. It'd be cool if this happens, but I don't feel like it would happen at a partner direct. So I don't even want to bring it up. But we have to be hearing about this 3DS remake that Bandai Namco is working on.
Oh shit!
Right?
I forgot about that.
And
right.
I mean, ostensibly, we all believe that's Kid Icarus Uprising, but
Please let it be Kid Icarus.
I don't know if they would show that here though, because Bandai Namco is developing it, but it's
that's how
definitely
you
first
close
party.
a direct.
True.
That's big.
You know what?
Yeah.
Jaden Buck just brought up a good point, saying, speaking of Nintendo content and cross-platform games, how about Fall Guys? Fall Guys is on Switch now. It seems almost inevitable that we'll get at least a couple of token Nintendo Bean costumes, right? And if Kirby's one of them, if it's not called Kirby, I'm riding. 100% riding. It's got to be called Kirby. Yeah.
Oh God. Well, anything else? Are we tapped and we just,
We've been going for like nearly an hour for a mini partner direct. So
I mean, that typically happens for these
Double
predictions.
the length of the direct.
It's like one of these predictions has to be right. There's all this stuff. We gotta get something right. I don't know, but we'll see. And I like I said, I'm hopeful, but my hopes aren't too high. I think we'll see something at least good. But my taste also a bit more wide range than most people, so I'm down for most things.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm just down to see what we see, and there'll be games, there'll be anger, but we'll find out together, and it'll be a good time. At 6 a.m.
Yeah.
At 6 a.m. Yeah.
Rise and shine. All right. Well, I think that covers it for our Nintendo Direct Mini Partner Direct, Partner Showcase, predictions discussion. That's a mouthful. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please consider supporting us on Patreon at patreon.com/gvgaming. You can also just subscribe to the channel. That helps us out a ton. Ringing the bell, because we will be there at 6 a.m. Pacific time, 9 a.m. Eastern. And John, what time UK?
Like 2 or 3.
2 p.m.
2 or 3 in the afternoon for UK. We will be there reacting to this direct and seeing if it excites us or disappoints us. Either way, we have a direct. Maybe not exactly what you wanted, but it's there. It's close enough. And let's have some fun with it. So thank you so much for watching. And until next time, bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.